Tech for Seniors, October 5th, 2020, episode number 28, right? Right, Hewie?
There we go.
Well done, well done. So, Hewie, did you get your backup all sorted out? Did you get your computer back up and running? What's happening with you?
The backup, I think, is complete, but it's saying it was a failure. But there are 625 gigabytes out in the cloud and 700 and some odd thousand files. So I think I might be missing a couple, and their tech support's supposed to call me back today.
Great.
Friday was a holiday in India, so they couldn't call me back on Friday.
And Bob, you've had a busy week. I know you're going to be talking a little bit about your security and the what this special month is, but did you get your computer problems? You had some problems as well.
Yeah, it's a Dell, and I've always had nothing but Dells, and I will be buying a different computer next time. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Okay.
That's why.
By the way, my Dell is on its way, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Ray, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine today. My internet's been up and running for 2 weeks now, so I'm on a go.
There you go. Excellent. So welcome everybody to the 28th edition of Tech for Seniors. Let me just share my screen and we'll talk about a few things. Share computer sound. For those of you who are new, please, our website, Tech for Seniors newsletter, comes out twice a week. Please sign up and we will send you a newsletter and keep you up to date. For those of you who did get our newsletter, you will notice if you go down to the bottom of the newsletter, you'll see Learning Chromebooks, and this is a monthly show, or I guess it's a SIG that Hewie and I do. If you come down to the bottom, you'll see the link there. If you click that link, it will take you to the registration site, and you can register. This is something you need to register for, and we'll be sending out notification. And the next one will be on October the 15th. So we'll be sending you the contact information. You'll be sending that out probably in the next week. But you need to register if you want to take part in that. So I had a pretty good week this week. As you know, the big news was actually this one here. The big news was Google, and they had their big show this week, and we're going to talk a little bit later about Google TV. What is Google TV and the new Chromecast? And that was the new announcement. The new announcement this week. This was just an article to remind me to make sure everyone signs up for the Chromebook session. And the other thing that we don't talk a lot about is gaming. Now, this was an article that came out about Microsoft's new flight simulator. So many of you probably, maybe you know or you don't know, but I was a physician and also a flight surgeon back in the military. I've always been interested in aviation, and back in the early days when Flight Simulator first came along, I built myself a virtual aircraft and actually was able to fly it virtually with all the original flight sim stuff. Flight sim's come a long way, and now with the release of the new Flight Simulator, it is real world, oh my gosh, simulation. It is so good. And it is, so we might talk a little bit about this later on in some of the shows, but it's pretty impressive what you can do. And that's part of my new computer system that I got, is I've got the high-end graphics card that will be able to really shine on this. So if you are a flight simmer, this is, it is something that's super interesting right now. All right, that's it. I guess we'll move on. Bob, what do you got for us?
Share my screen. share my sound. Make this thing nice and big. Is the Security News Roundup for the week ending October 2nd, 2020. Did you know that firmware can be hacked just like software? In an experiment to prove it was possible, a vast senior researcher, Martin Huron, successfully hacked into a firmware of an IoT device, hijacking it completely and infecting it with ransomware. Martin said he wanted to test his theory that firmware is the new software, meaning the right kind of attack could compromise the hardwired system components built into the device. Martin chose a smart coffee maker as the target of the attack, infecting its firmware through the device's own local Wi-Fi signal. Martin and his team were able to take full command of the coffee maker's firmware features, make it beep incessantly, and infect it with ransomware so that it locked its owner out. There's a video. Follow that link and you'll be able to watch it in action. Remote working may help the planet. As part of a Corona special report, ZDNet wrote about an interactive roundtable on remote working that recently occurred among cybersecurity experts and leaders from around the world. The panel discussed remote working, or virtual working, as not only environmentally harmless, but actually beneficial. Cleaner air due to less rush hour traffic is just one of the ways remote working promotes sustainability, according to the roundtable. ZDNet reported that the United Nations believes that 14 of its 17 sustainability goals can be solved or advanced through the practice of remote working. Since our president has just tested positive for COVID, I guess he'll also be working remotely for some time. Hope he gets better soon. Cyber attack knocks a major hospital system offline. Over the weekend, Universal Health Services, a hospital chain with over 400 locations, primarily in the U.S., suffered a cyber attack that knocked its U.S. systems offline. UHS issued a statement that cited a security incident caused by malware for leading the hospital to shut down all networks across its U.S. operations. The company's UK operations have not been impacted. A source close to UHS told NBC News that the attack seems to be ransomware. Nurses reported that hospital staff have reverted to pen and paper for the time being. FBI, CISA issue warnings about election disinformation. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency issued a public service announcement this week about disinformation campaigns that aim to generate doubt and mistrust in the U.S. election process. The PSA states, during the 2020 election season, foreign actors and cybercriminals are spreading false and inconsistent information through various online platforms in an attempt to manipulate public opinion, sow discord, discredit the electoral process, and undermine confidence in U.S. democratic institutions. The PSA offered recommendations to clear up confusion and assuage skepticism, including the advice to seek out information from trustworthy sources. Verify who produced the content and consider their intent. Joker malware found in 17 new apps on Google Play. A sneaky strain of malware known as Joker has been discovered in various apps offered on the Google Play Store for over a year, and 17 have just been removed for being infected with the malware. Forbes published a list of tainted applications, which include Scanner, Photo Editor, and Messenger apps. Joker hides in an app until it identifies certain criteria about the device's system, then it springs into action, downloading more malware, stealing sensitive information, and spying on the device. If users currently have any of the apps listed in Forbes, they are advised to delete them from their devices immediately. Zero logon Windows Server vulnerability. A new vulnerability in Windows domain controllers has been discovered. In a published paper in September, researchers from Secura found a cryptographic flaw and called it Zero Logon. Zero Logon takes advantage of the Net Logon remote protocol used in the authentication process. Microsoft was alerted earlier and released a patch for the vulnerability. If this affects you, upgrade your system as soon as possible. And that wraps up the security news for another week. Stay safe. See you next week. Bye-bye. Let me close this baby out. Oh, I have to go back to sharing, huh? Okay. For me, this month is known as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Every year in October or throughout the month of October, I do presentations for clubs all over the country. I still have room to add some additional clubs, so if you folks haven't yet signed up, and you can do it either through APCUG or you can do it directly through me. Presentation is always free of charge, and it gives you quite a bit of information as far as what to do to stay safe, recommendation for free, mostly free programs that help in getting that job accomplished. Contact me directly through my email or through my phone. Either way will work. As I said, the service is totally free. If we still have time, I can also share that video of that coffee maker that was hacked. We have a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Bob.
Somebody's phone's ringing. Never mind. Sorry. Takes too long to get to it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Bob. What are we going to do about the firmware issue? This is not good, eh?
No, it's not.
Hmm.
They'll come up with a fix for it, but the crook is always first in line, and then those that protect us have to figure out how to stop the crook.
All right. Hewie, what do you got for us today?
Well, let me find, there it is. I just wanted to give a quick rundown because I did it early, so I have it done. You know, I host the Central Florida Computer Society Windows Special Interest Group, or I call it the WinSig, on the second Sunday of every month. We open the doors at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we start at 1:30. I don't lock the doors. I used to, but because the main CFCS meeting immediately follows mine, and we use the same link, we're no longer doing that. There's a big long link there to sign up for the meeting, and it's a recurring meeting. But down at the bottom, it says if you subscribe to the newsletter at hewie.net or hewie.net/WinSig, either one of them, on the right, you'll see a sign up for the newsletter. I haven't sent it out yet, and it will have the link there. What I'm going to cover, this is a week from yesterday, which is the second Sunday of the month. I'm going to talk about the Windows Store. I'm going to talk about what's coming up new in the Windows 10 version. They're calling it 20H2, or probably will be 2010, 2010. There's going to be an update, in other words, to Windows 10 later probably this month or next month. Talk about some of the things that are going to be coming with that. Something in Chrome, in the Chrome browser about read later is now going to be called reading. I found a really great conversion and calculating tool, and we'll talk about that. Then how to copy text but not formatting in Word. Amazon drivers are hanging phones. When I say drivers, I'm talking about people who drive the vehicles. They're hanging phones in trees to get more deliveries. It's interesting what people are doing to make more money. And then I found a free video editor, or if you buy the pro version, it's like 20 bucks. And then how to add a picture in a picture effect to a video. Microsoft has something new called Expressive Pixels. I'm going to talk about that. And I am also going to, if we have time, talk about how to install Windows 10 on a Chromebook, and I can't make it work. So I'm going to talk about how you can try it and then what problems there are in making it work. And so that's coming up. Please sign up for the newsletter, and I will give you all the links. And we do I do store all of the old Windows SIG meetings going back to 2008. Probably a lot of them are outdated, not worth keeping, but they're out there. So anyway, join us a week from Sunday for the Windows Special Interest Group.
Thanks. So that would be a good show. So if a club was trying to have a program playing your Windows SIG, that would be a good program for them, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I do is I take articles that I have found, and we just kind of go through the articles, and I also have links to the articles so they can go back, and you can find the links to all of my topics on hewie.net/WinSig.
Great. Yeah. So that's so because there are a lot of clubs looking. Their year is going to be virtual meetings, so they're looking for material. So that would be good material. If they can't make the meeting on Sunday, it's taped then, right?
Yep. And if they can take pieces and parts of it, and maybe one of these days, I'm going to try to learn that free video editing software and see if maybe I can show you how you can download a video and then how to edit it.
Excellent. All right. Well, super. Thanks, Hewie. We'll talk a little bit later in the show. All right. Now I wanted to talk to everyone about what Google TV is. What's Google TV? I mean, this is new. I mean, we've got Google TV now. What is Google TV? So let me share my screen. And we're going to share the computer sound, and we should come up, and you should be seeing it. And we're going to start the slideshow. Beginning. All right. We're going to talk today about what is Google TV and also the new Chromecast device, which we'll show you in a second. This was announced, I think it was Tuesday at the big Google event this week. I wanted, just before we go over this, I wanted to review some concepts on terminology. And I wanted just to refresh everybody's memory on what a smart TV is. You probably all know this, but a smart TV is a TV that's connected to the internet. In other words, you can actually interact with the internet through your TV. And this is a smart TV. I wanted to just give an analogy that I often use in this, and I'm going to talk about two people. One of them went to university, did one semester, and dropped out. The second individual went to university and stayed 6 years and got their master's degree. Obviously, the person that got their master's degree is smarter than the person who dropped out after one session. So I want you to hold that thought now. And this is one of my 4 TCL TVs in my house, and we'll talk a little bit about TCL TVs in a moment. But this is the one that I have in my kitchen. I love TCL TVs, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this slide here are all the connecting devices that we're going to talk about today, but specifically Chromecast. I want you to come up and look in the top left-hand corner here, and you'll see that that we have a picture of a TV, a smart TV, and this is connected directly to the internet, not with any device, not with an Amazon Fire Stick, not with a Roku. It's when you go to Costco and you buy your TV, they say it's a smart TV, you bring it home, you connect it to the internet, and you watch Netflix on it, and so on and so forth. And that is, that is one way your smart TV works. But that's sort of akin to the fellow that went to university and took one semester. Your TV is sort of smart, but not really very smart. If you want your TV to be very smart, like the fellow that had the master's, then we're going to use one of these other devices that's in the circle here. And so you can take any TV that is a smart TV and you can make it really smart by using any of these devices. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, there are a number of devices on the market. Our club, Dewey and I, spent a lot of time in the last 2 years. We gave away a lot of Amazon Fire Sticks and Roku boxes and talked an awful lot about streaming services. And so the first one here is the Amazon. You can either have the Fire TV or the Fire Stick. And this is a device that you connect to your TV, and it connects your TV to the internet. So you can actually take a dumb TV, one that is not connected to the internet, and you can actually make it a smart TV with this device. Or you could plug this into your existing smart TV and make it a super smart TV, right? So this is the Amazon, and Amazon has been around. They're excellent. These products are excellent, and probably it's 50-50 between Amazon and Roku. So the second one that you're going to come along with here is Roku, and Roku makes this a box that again connects to your TV. They all work the same way. They plug into the HDMI port in your TV. They then connect wirelessly to your internet system, and then they to your Wi-Fi, and then they need power. So again, we have Roku is very popular. It is an excellent product, and I think it's probably about 50-50 between Amazon and Roku. Then we come down to Apple TV. Great system as well. We have one at our computer club. We use it to so the SIGs can connect to the televisions. Works great. Apple TV, same idea. It connects and makes your TV a smart TV. Now, if you come around to the bottom here on the left-hand side, you'll see my TCL that I talked about earlier has an embedded Roku device inside it. So it is a smart TV, but it's even super smart because it has one of these little Roku boxes embedded in the TV. And the nice thing I like about it is I don't have to have these separate Roku boxes around the house. And the other thing is my wife, all the remotes are the same. So I don't have to, they're all the same, exactly the same remote. So everything works exactly the same. So that's one of the reasons why I like the TCL, and this is embedded in there. Now you can also, the Amazon Fire Stick, they also have Amazon Fire TV, and this is also embedded in certain TVs as well. But what we're going to talk about today is I want to talk about Google's new Chromecast, and that's this device here. Now, Chromecast devices, again, do the same thing as all these other devices do, but this is a bit different. So what is the different this time? Before we move on and talk about that, many of you will wonder, which device should I purchase? And really all the devices work well. I'm not sure that I would choose one over another. I would recommend that you purchase the 4K or premium version of most of these, because a lot of these devices have cheaper versions that are like $29 or something like that. And these have they all have computer chips in them. And so you'll get a better picture and it'll work faster if you buy the 4K version. We'll talk about that in a minute. In your consideration on which one to use, I would consider a larger picture. And one of them might be security services that you have in your house. For example, if you had an Amazon Ring doorbell and you wanted to maybe watch when someone pushed the doorbell in your house and you wanted that to come on the screen in your TV, then I'd probably buy an Amazon Fire Stick and use the Amazon services because it would link in with your doorbell. If you had a Nest doorbell, then probably a Chromecast, the Chrome, which we're going to talk about, would be a better option for you. So I think in choosing which device, they all do about the same thing, but look at the larger picture. All right. This is what makes Google Chromecast different. Well, in the past, the Chromecast did not have a remote. In other words, it operated off the app on your phone. So there was an app on your phone and it cast itself to your TV. So none of the TVs had any remotes. So it all worked off your cell phone. And that was quite a bit different than all the other ones that you had. All these other devices that you have here all have remotes. The Fire TV has a remote, Roku has a remote, Apple TV has a remote, TCL has a remote. But Google Chrome, the Chromecast, the Google Chromecast didn't. It worked from an app on your phone. That's all changed this week. They changed the whole Chromecast system, and now your Google Chromecast has a remote, and in fact works the same as all these other devices, exactly the same. So that's put the playing field. So they're all the same, right? So now let's talk about that. Now, when you connect these devices, you need some content, right? You got to, so we call those streaming services. So all these devices allow you to pull content into your TV over the internet, and that's what we call streaming services. Now, I wanted again to just define what these streaming services are. Many of you all know what YouTube is. I spend most of my life in YouTube. I've produced over 110 videos now that are on my YouTube channel. I spend my whole life there. 80% of the television I watch is all in YouTube. The problem with YouTube is that it's not easy to find what you want. It's if you want television services and you want all that, it's there, but it's just not that easy to find. And even after many years of working in YouTube, it's still sometimes surprising what's actually there. So it is hard sometimes to find what you want. The second thing is there's a thing called YouTube Premium. What is YouTube Premium? Well, YouTube Premium is simply YouTube has ads. So if you pay $10 a month, the ads go away, and that's called YouTube Premium, all right? So, and I have this because I hate ads. So most of my life is spent in YouTube, and I get all my television content and everything in there. However, we now have YouTube TV. And what is YouTube TV? Well, I think it was a poor terminology that they did when they called it YouTube TV, because it really isn't anything to do with YouTube. YouTube TV is a television service, and it's a streaming service, and it's exactly as you would have with your cable service. It has menus, everything's easy to find, it's got channels, it's got all the major networks on there, and it also has local programming. So, and it has sports, it has everything you have on cable, but it's all available as a streaming service. And this, of course, would play on all those devices that I showed you before. And that's called YouTube TV, okay? Now, this is also what Verizon is using for their fixed base 5G when they're giving out when they're installing the fixed base 5G and you're getting all your stuff over the air now. This is what they're using. They're putting out YouTube TV. This is a very popular service and probably will replace any sort of cable systems, I think, in the United States. It's widely used and very popular. So that's called YouTube TV. Now, the next part of this is the Netflix, is all the other streaming services. There's hundreds of them. And all these, you have to choose which one you want, and then it will play, you can play it on any of those devices that we talked about earlier. So what is Google TV? Interesting. Well, I told you Google TV is different now because we have a remote. So now we have the Chromecast device, but it works exactly the same as all the other devices, and you actually have a remote. All right. Now, I just about died laughing when I made this slide up. You know, you wonder about competition. I actually haven't looked at pricing for about a year now, and usually the 4K sort of devices were around 70 or 80 bucks, and the ones that weren't 4K were less. So these are the prices from Best Buy yesterday. So if you look at Amazon's Fire Stick, It's 4K Fire Stick, $49.99, exactly what Chromecast was. If you look at the Roku streaming stick, the 4K, $49.99. And if you look at the new Google Chromecast that they've just released, $49.99. They're all the same price. And if you want Apple, of course, you got to pay more. So the Apple 4K is $179, but Apple people are used to paying more anyway. And here is my 55-inch TCL TV with the Series 6 with the Roku embedded in it, and that is $64.99. So this is, again, we have Google's Chromecast, we have Roku, we have Amazon Fire, and we also, the Roku and the TV, and we also have the Roku device. So those are all the ones we covered. And we need to move on, and Hewie, you are up.
Almost. Let me put this away. And
You've got
today we're going
mail.
to talk about your neighborhoods. First on the agenda is talking about crime mapping, helping you build a safer community. If you go to crimemapping.com, you'll get this screen, and you can put in an address or an agency, meaning a police agency, police department, sheriff's department, so on. And it will give you some information. And you can display some options at what's happening in your area, such as arson, assault, burglary, and so on, as you see from the list there. And if you also, and it'll pinpoint them on a map, as well as if you want to know where sex offenders live, if you click that box, you'll be able to see if there's any close by to where you live. Here is a typical scene of a map with all of the things that happened in that area. Generally, you pinpoint it much narrowly, but I wanted you to see what it really can look like. So where does the data come from? The data is extracted from the existing record system at each participating law enforcement agency through an automated import process. The data that's displayed will always be the most current available. In other words, there are police agencies that participate in this process. How can I get my agency online? If your agency in your area is not online, you can sharing crime data with the community is a choice each department makes. If you believe your agency should join this nationwide effort, please contact the public information officer at your local law enforcement agency to let them know about crimemapping.com. Hearing from a member of the community that they will serve will have a greater impact than hearing from crime mapping. Now you can create personalized alerts. You can create multiple alerts that track crime and or sex offender movement in any area of interest. Simply define an area of interest, verify that the local law enforcement agency for that area is providing data to the crimemapping.com, and choose which types of crimes and or sex offenders you're interested in. You'll receive an email when new activity occurs. Here's my personalized alert. As you can see, it's an email that I received. This is one I received in the last couple of days, as a matter of fact. And you'll see that there were some assaults. And as you move down the page, there were some more assaults of theft, larceny, and then down at the bottom of vehicle, break-in and theft, larceny. And how I define my alert, I asked for all of those items, and I specified the area, or my address, in other words, where I lived. And this one was published October 2nd, which was just a couple of days ago. Here it is again. Here's what it looks like. It's a very long document because there's a lot of things that happened in my neighborhood. It may not have as many in your neighborhood. It may have more. Now, when you click on one of the buttons that's on in the email, it'll take you to a map and it'll show you your specified area. So it's showing my location in the middle of a circle of about a radius of 2 miles. And you can go in and pinpoint any one of those and it will give you more information about it. It doesn't give you the exact address, but it will tell you what block of a street that it occurred. Here's another area. This happens, no, this is a wider view of my area. Now, these are all of the police agencies in the U.S. that participate in this. I'm sorry, Canada, crime mapping at this point, at least, is only in the U.S., but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But here's an area that some of you may be familiar with. It's near Prescott, Arizona. So not all areas are covered. So your area may not be. Some of you also may see, let's see, there's Foothill Freeway, and there's I-10 and 57. So some of you may recognize this area. Now, there is another service that more of you might be interested in, but it's not quite as complete, I don't think, as crime mapping is, but it's called City Protect. And you can find an agency, register cameras, explore crime maps, view previously submitted reports. In addition to the options above, you can check your agency's City Protect page to find out what services are available in your community. Each City Protect agency may offer services like anonymous tipping, police reports, other online requests, public record requests, and City Protect is a registered trademark, believe it or not, of Motorola Solutions. So what is City Protect? It's part of the Command Central Community Solution, is the public site for bringing together community-focused functionality for better communication and partnership with law enforcement. So you need to find an agency. You'll notice on the map, if you looked where we were before, I'm in Manatee County. That's in the lower left of the map. And our local departments where I am don't participate with the City Protect, but they do participate with the crime mapping that I showed previously. So this may be where your local agency may participate in this and not in the other, and it may not participate in either one. You can register your cameras with this service. Turn your camera into the latest crime fighting tool. Crime Reports camera registration helps citizens and law enforcement partner in preventing and solving crime using your security cameras. Simply register your home or residential camera and advertise that you're protected. It's free, safe, and secure. And here's how you would explore the crime map. This is a similar map of what we showed earlier. This is in Covina, California. And you'll see that there are some little dots there, and those are where things happen. You can go to the police agency page by clicking on the left under the agency. Additional services, in addition to the options above, you can check your agency's City Protect page to find out what services are available to your community. Each City Protect agency may offer services like anonymous tipping, police reports, other online requests, and public record requests. Here is a map of City Protect, and you'll notice it does cover some Canadian cities close to the border, and some a little bit away from the border. So let's take a look at a few just north of the border in some areas that some of you may at least be familiar with. Here's another map. And as we hone in, In this area, there's not much of of reports, but certain police departments do participate. Here's another area. And still another area. And here is the larger view of this area with a lot of where a lot of activity took place. The Gilbert Police Department. So my daily report from City Protect. This happened to be in a different area. Because I don't have one in my area, I went ahead and subscribed to one in a different area. And this showed it had about 140 recent incidents. There were 6 assaults. There were 3 breaking and entering, 4 thefts of vehicles, 3 other thefts. As I moved down the page, there were disorderly qualities of life, disorderly and disturbances, and 911 or other. There were 27 proactive policing and 1 emergency. And if I click on view on the map, that's what it looked like. This was the area in which I subscribed to. And so this is what they sent me, and with my map of daily incidents, and you can see where all the dots are in that area. Again, as you zoom in, you can see the police departments. You can click and get more information. You can submit tips, and you can look to see where the various events took place. I also decided to add in Nextdoor to this report. If you're not familiar with Nextdoor, it's tapping into your neighborhood. And I belong to it here locally, but it is a national, actually it's an international service, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But you can tap into your neighborhood and join, and they do follow up and make sure you live in that area. They'll even send you a postcard with some kind of a password in which you'll then have to sign up online with that to prove that you received it, so that you are in fact at the address that you give them. So the information within that area stays with that area. You can get the most out of your neighborhood with Nextdoor. There's some essential things, relevant news and information from neighbors, from businesses, and public agencies in real time. In my area, the local police department, the local sheriff's department, both belong to the service. Local, the only way to instantly connect with to the people, businesses, and happenings near your home. And it's a secure environment where all the neighbors are verified, and you can sign up through it. Typically, I get emails that will look something similar to this. This happens to be one that I did get. And they happen to mention some things about a homeless man asking for food, knocking on doors, some road work, and so on. So it's information dealing with your neighborhood. You can specify your news feed's preferences, and you can get different posts, local posts, weather, news, business photos, resources, and giving back. There are different kinds of notifications. You can always get the latest by visiting Nextdoor, but you can also choose to be notified when something new happens in your neighborhood. You can get email notifications, and you can turn off any notifications as well. You can get SMS, in other words, text alerts if you want, and you can add in nearby neighborhoods. Here is the neighborhood that I'm in. That's in the orange, and then there are 30 nearby neighborhoods that I can specify, yes, include them in my reports or not, and I can turn them on and off. So Nextdoor by the numbers, it's in 11 countries, 265,000 neighborhoods globally. 1 in 4 U.S. households are covered by Nextdoor. 50 million local businesses recommend recommendations from neighbors. Everyone is a neighbor. The neighborhood Nextdoor recognizes that thriving communities are more than just residents. They're also made up of local businesses, nonprofits, and public agencies that keep neighborhoods strong and connected. So it includes residents where you can connect with people you wave or nod to in your neighborhood. Now you can know their names and chat online. Local businesses instantly reach your most valuable customers, your neighbors, and become a trusted member of the neighborhood. Nonprofits can engage with the people who need you the most and find support from donors nearby with features like Sell for Good. Public agencies share critical real-time information directly at the neighborhood level, and brands provide locally relevant products and services that improve the neighborhoods and the neighbors' daily lives. Here's some important links for you for the crime mapping, the City Protect, Nextdoor, and then the Canadian version of Nextdoor. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That's very interesting. I was just looking at, there's one in my neighborhood, sort of in Canada too. That's pretty cool, eh? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, works great. Ray, you're up.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to start off with a little bit of sad news first. Helen Reddy and Mac Davis both passed away this past Tuesday. That was September 29. Reddy had a string of hits in the 1970s, but really is best known for the 1972 anthem, I Am Woman, which became prominent in the women's liberation movement. She won a Grammy for that #1 song. Mac Davis was a singer and a songwriter and an actor who wrote the song In the Ghetto and other classic songs for Elvis before becoming a multi-talented star. He died after undergoing heart surgery. He hosted his own variety series on NBC, was a member of the National Songwriters Hall of Fame, and appeared in several movies, including North Dallas 40. Ironically, one of the first songs Reddy recorded was I Believe in Music, that was written by Mac Davis. All right, so today's topic is cover records. And we hear that term used all the time. The word cover in today's music terminology is basically anyone recording or playing a song previously done by someone else, even if it was decades earlier. In addition to terms like cover records, tribute bands are often referred to as cover bands. But this was not the original meaning of the word in the music recording industry. You know, before the large-scale popularity of rock and roll, it was quite common for the same song to be on the pop charts multiple times by different recording artists. To me, the best example of this is the song Unchained Melody. The top 100 pop songs in 1955 had this song listed 4 times. Al Hibbler at #6, my personal favorite. Les Baxter and his orchestra was the original release at #13. Les Baxter and I are not related. Jimmy Young at #52, and Roy Hamilton at #87. So the same song on the charts pretty much at the same time. That's what the cover record was back in the 50s. So talking about the song Unchained Melody, I always like to throw a little trivia in my presentations here. Obviously the most popular version of Unchained Melody has to be the Righteous Brothers from 1965. But it wasn't the Righteous Brothers, it wasn't both of them singing. It's only Bobby Hatfield. But Bill Medley does not sing on that recording. So the sole purpose of a cover record was to take sales away from the original. This was the competitive nature of the music business at the time. Singers who were writing their own material did not mind as much, since their royalties increased substantially. It's been reported that Little Richard once called to the stage Pat Boone, who was sitting in the audience, and introduced him as the man who made him rich. Okay, so today's song is What a Wonderful World. Originally in 1960, it was released by Sam Cooke. But in my opinion, a better version came out in 1978 by Art Garfunkel, Paul Simon, and James Taylor, all trading parts in the song as they sang it. But now my new favorite of this song is by an unnamed Japanese trio featuring a young man named David Tin. He's the youngest person in the video you're about to see. He's a very accomplished pan flute player. So I guess by today's terminology, this is a cover of a cover. I'm going to just call it a new recording of an old song. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was great. Well, guess what, folks? Top of the hour. Another one in the can. We've got another show to do next week. Is everyone coming back? Huey, will you
I'll
be
be
around
here.
next week?
I will definitely be here.
Bob,
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Ray,
If you'll have me.
of course. So we're all back. Same time, same show, same ID number, same Zoom number, same everything. We'll be back next week. Everyone have a safe week. Be kind and let's stay safe. Please, everyone, stay safe, and we will see everyone back next week at the same time at 8:30. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good job, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.